In a quiet village in Portugal, a young boy named Francisco Marto lived a simple life tending sheep with his sister and cousin. But in 1917, something extraordinary happened. He, along with Jacinta and Lucia, witnessed the apparition of the Blessed Virgin Mary in Fatima. This divine encounter changed his life forever. Despite his young age, Francisco embraced a deep love for prayer, penance, and silent reflection. His heart longed only for one thing: to console Jesus. But his journey was short, and his faith would leave an everlasting mark on the world. Who was Saint Francisco Marto, and how did his devotion inspire millions? Saint Francisco Marto was born on June 11, 1908, in the small village of Aljustrel, Portugal, to a humble farming family. He was among the youngest child of Manuel Marto and Olimpia de Jesus dos Santos. His family, like many in the region, lived a simple and devout life. Francisco had younger sibling Jacinta and João, with whom he grew up in the serene Portuguese countryside. From an early age, he was taught the values of faith, humility, and devotion to God. Francisco was known for his gentle and quiet nature. While his younger sister, Jacinta, was often seen as the more outspoken and energetic sibling, Francisco was shy, sensitive, and deeply focused on prayer. The two siblings, along with their cousin Lucia dos Santos, were the key figures in one of the most extraordinary events in Catholic history: the apparitions of the Virgin Mary at Fatima. In 1916, when Francisco was only 8 years old, he and his sister and cousin experienced the first of several extraordinary events that would forever change their lives. An angel appeared to them 3 times, introducing himself as the Angel of Peace. During these visits, he instructed them to pray and make sacrifices for the conversion of sinners, preparing them for a greater event to come. Then, in May 1917, when Francisco was just 9, he, Jacinta, and Lucia witnessed the first apparition of the Virgin Mary in the Cova da Iria fields near Fatima. The Virgin Mary appeared to them as a beautiful lady dressed in white, with a glowing aura around her. She asked the children to come to the same spot for 6 consecutive months, promising that she would reveal an important message for the world. During these apparitions, the Virgin Mary shared several profound secrets with the children, urging them to pray for peace and the salvation of souls. Francisco, who was naturally very devout, took these messages to heart. He and his sister Jacinta, along with Lucia, dedicated themselves to praying the rosary and making sacrifices to fulfill the Virgin's request. Francisco and Jacinta's unwavering faith and devotion were especially evident, as they often offered their own suffering of the salvation of others. Francisco's profound faith and commitment to the messages of the Virgin Mary were not without personal sacrifice. Unlike his cousin Lucia, who could still see and speak with the Virgin Mary, Francisco's vision was less frequent. After the apparitions ended, Francisco's health began to deteriorate. He became sick with the Spanish flu, a global pandemic that was sweeping across Europe. During his illness, Francisco's suffering deepened, but so did his devotion. He would often offer up his pain to God, asking for the conversion of sinners, as the Virgin Mary had instructed. Francisco's deep spirituality was also shown in his love for the Eucharist. He longed to receive communion, but had to wait until he was healthy enough to do so. His devotion to the Virgin Mary and to God was pure, and he felt honored to suffer for the faith, believing that it would help bring about peace for the world. Despite his deep faith, Francisco's life was short. He passed away on April 4, 1919, at the age of 10. His death was a source of immense sorrow to his family, but it was also a moment of deep spiritual significance. Francisco's death occurred just 2 years after the apparitions, and many people believed that his life, though short, had been marked by miraculous grace. One of the most powerful aspects of Francisco's life was the miracle of his beatification. In 1987, nearly 70 years after his death, Francisco was beatified by Pope John Paul II. During the process of beatification, the Catholic Church investigated several miraculous healings attributed to his intercession. Francisco's deep faith, his humble life, and his unwavering dedication to prayer and sacrifice were seen as a sign of his holiness. On May 13, 2017, Pope John Paul II canonized Francisco and his sister, Jacinta, as saints. Their sainthood serves as a testament to their purity, faith, and the power of their prayers for the world. Today, Francisco Marto is remembered as a young boy of profound faith who was willing to suffer for the love of God. His life, though brief, left an indelible mark on the world. He is remembered for his purity, his quiet devotion, and his unwavering belief in the messages that the Virgin Mary shared with him and his cousin and Jacinta. Francisco's story is not just one of personal holiness, but of hope. His unwavering faith in the face of illness and suffering serves as an inspiration for millions of Catholics around the world. His legacy is particularly powerful for children and young people, as his life proves that anyone, no matter their age, can be a vessel for grace, love, and faith. In the words of Pope John Paul II, Francisco and Jacinta are models of Christian life for our times. Their messages of prayer, sacrifice, and devotion continue to resonate with the faithful, reminding them of the importance of living a life rooted in love, faith, and service to God and others. The life of Saint Francisco Marto is a beautiful example of how deep faith, no matter how young, can change the world. His devotion to the Virgin Mary and the message she brought is a testament to his purity of heart and soul. Though Francisco lived just a short life, his story continues to inspire people worldwide, showing that even the smallest acts of faith and prayer can have a lasting impact. He is a true saint, and his example of love, sacrifice, and devotion remains a powerful message for generations to come.